The Calgary Wilds have been on the road for the first 3 weeks of the season, but tonight at McMahon Stadium, they finally get to make their home debut on Mother's Day. With 1 win and 2 losses behind them, they're looking to capitalize on home field's advantage, but standing in their way is the Ottawa Rapids, who've been well organized at the back and tricky to defend up front, with multiple players proving they've got a nose for goal. Well, come on in and hang out with us, everybody. Happy Mother's Day. This is the NSL on TSN, brought to you by BMO. I'm Kate McKenna. She's former Team Canada captain, an exceptional mom of 3, including twins.
Yes,
this is Amy Walsh.
No, you are. Exceptional mom right back at you.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you. It's nice to be here with you. And listen, we have reached the last home opener of this NFL season. What are you expecting tonight?
I'm expecting to see a Calgary Wild team that's grown into each of their subsequent matches, especially the one at Wanderers grounds. Emphatic 4-1 victory, but they've taken strides each match. So finally back at home, Coach Lydia Bedford talked about them training 4 times at McMahon Stadium. It feels like home, and they're starting to assume that identity. So they're at home in what they're meant to express on the pitch, so I'm expecting them to take another stride today.
Now, you may actually hear some extra noise in the stadium tonight because the Calgary Wild has flown in the mom or mother figure of every single player on the team, and there's really no energy like mom energy.
No, it's a very particular brand of energy.
It really is. We would know. Now, listen, speaking of Calgary's on-field performance, they've been so good on set pieces, and goals off of set pieces, Amy, have come from a bit of a surprising source.
Yeah, Maggie the Mouse, to hear Lydia Bedford talk about it. So maybe, retribution, making amends for that foul that led to Quinn's penalty in the inaugural match, right away gets on the board, and always a target for the quality of service from Maggie Doherty-Howard. So getting her team, who's looked brilliant so far, on set pieces.
Well, let's check out the starting 11 now for the Calgary Wild, brought to you by DoorDash. One change to tell you about, Maddie Wilson gets the start in the midfield.
Yeah, Wilson checks in instead of Stewart, who I thought was brilliant, was elusive between the lines, but I'm looking to this attacking trident of Johnson, Griffith, and Thurton to see if we can get a little bit more interchange across that front line, get Savitsky pulling a little bit higher, pulling the strings, and just generating a little bit more than what they've done previously, which is be good in attacking transition. Can they be good on the ball consistently?
Well, we talked earlier about set pieces. Maggie Doherty-Howard has been delivering many of those set pieces, and earlier today she caught up with Brianne Foley in our WestJet Pitchside Chat.
Maggie, after starting the season with 3 games on the road, you're finally home in front of your own Calgary fans. What is it that you've learned from playing in 2 other home openers in order to bring that win to this match today?
Yeah, I think having been on the road for so long, we're just so happy to have the chance to play in front of our fans and have, almost 10,000 people here cheering for us. So I think what we've learned is that there's going to be a lot of excitement around that. So using that in a positive way, not letting the moment, get too big and get to us in a sense, but using that energy definitely to be on the front foot to start the game.
Now, this Calgary organization made sure that they flew moms in for Mother's Day. After all the support through your youth days, through your Florida Gator days, through your professional days, how important is it for you to have your mom in the crowd today?
It's so nice, and it's so special that the organization did that for us. I've never been on a team that's done anything like that, so it's super touching, and I know it means a lot to all of the girls. For me, I have my mom and my aunt, who's been like a second mother to me here, so just being able to have them here to share in this historic moment for this city is something that's going to be, I'll remember forever.
Amazing. Yeah. Good luck today.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Let's check out the starting 11 for the Ottawa Rapids, brought to you by DoorDash. One change from last game, Stella Downing in for Johanna Fridland.
I'm not sure that makes much of a difference, to be honest. No disrespect to those players, but to hear Coach Katrina Peterson talk about this Ottawa side is they've been brilliant out of possession. Can they now do it while in possession? So they need to find their rhythm. They've struggled to connect, struggled when they're in that possession. So can they get a little bit more fluent in the attacking phase, and it might start to unlock some things, and it might be through number 14, Mina.
Mina Lee, a goal scorer for Ottawa this season, as has been Dee Pridham. She started up front. She's starting up front this game and was responsible for the Rapids' lone goal last week against Montreal. This was such a solid individual effort and an awesome celebration, too, the D and the B there. And earlier today, she caught up with our own Brianne Foley.
DB, now you've had 1 win, 1 loss. You were able to score in that loss against Montreal. What is it that you take from that road loss coming into Calgary today?
Yeah, just hunger. We weren't happy with our with our performance, and we want to grow from it, and we learned a lot from it. So we've been practicing hard this week and learning from what we need to do better in, and we're ready.
So your mom is actually in attendance here today. What does it mean to be able to actually share this moment with your mother on Mother's Day?
Yeah, it's truly special. I mean, coming back and being able to play in Canada, my family's from here. I think it's a special moment bringing my family together. My cousin is living here in Calgary as well, so he'll be able to come to the game, and my dad here is as well too. So it's truly special to be playing for my family in the country that they're from. So I'm happy.
Amazing. Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
DB Brittam clearly looking forward to playing in front of family and friends. And speaking of family and friends, here are the players walking out with their mums. What a moment for them. When we return, Amy and Signa Butler will bring you first half action from McMahon Stadium in Calgary as the Wild make their home debut against the Ottawa Rapids.
Calgary ready to welcome professional women's soccer for the very first time. The Wild hosting Ottawa Rapid FC at their inaugural home opener at McMahon Stadium. Used to hosting football of a different kind, the Stampeders, but today it's all about the beautiful game. Mina Lee will kick off for the Ottawa Rapid, and they'll take a big punt forward in the Wild zone. She trying to look for Adamek. Adamek. Quickly in attack, that's Pridham looking across. But certain there to thwart the chance. Amy always early nerves, and look at Thurton getting the crowd up going.
And an appropriate kit front sponsor there for Mother's Day too. Everyone's a daughter.
Daughter?
Right? To the mother.
Yeah, the designers of their secondary kit, which is quite lovely, by the way.
It is. Almost done a great job across the league for the kit, but from Katrina Peterson's perspective, the away team here at McMahon Stadium, they've started exactly the way they want to, that really tenacious play by Adamek to win the ball near the corner flag, and then they get into the box immediately and come very close to having a crack on goal.
Rolfsma taking a big swing to get that ball out, and you can hear Michaela Moore saying, come on, let's get going here in the early minutes.
Yeah, described as soft-spoken. I'm not buying it, Signa.
No.
You can't be as a center back. Maybe off the pitch. That's where that comes in.
Haiju Chu, the South Korean international. And Calgary moving forward. Grace Sorty, the hometown kid. Lots of room to breathe. Trying to play in Griffith, but that's out of bounds.
close, though. Great driving, aggressive, athletic run by Grace Doherty to open things up on the attack for the Calgary Wild. We know that Doherty's got that in her locker. We've seen her defend, I think, really well so far this season. Seen her less so on the attack, but surge forward there for the Calgary Wild.
Holland and Liv Scott. Nice touch forward from Mina. Adamek winning it back. But Rolfsma steps in. Collie Johnson fouled by Holland, and our first free kick of the game.
That really well done to keep possession, keep it to feet, and win the foul. I'd do the same if an opposition tried to put it a little bit higher up the pitch. Say, no, the foul's back there. I think you're seeing from Ottawa, too, again, talking about the away side. I think we've seen an exchange of, probing runs into the opponent's half, but when Mina is involved, is influential on the match, Ottawa Rapid is a better team. And I mentioned that in the open, that the ball and the attack moving through her and pulling the strings, whether it's an individual effort like we saw their first ever goal at TD Place when she went on that long, easy run, or she's playing provider and playing little flicks in and getting Adamek involved. That's going to be key to their attack today.
Out for an Ottawa throw. Ottawa wearing their away kits or their secondary kit for the first time this season. Just their third game of the season for the Ottawa Rapid. Great energy at McMahon Stadium today as well. Downtown Calgary. A lot of young athletes in the crowd today. The games were put on hold for today for this special match. So a lot of young players in the crowd today and their families.
The only thing better than that would have been if it was a school day and school was put on hold for the match.
Kidding. Doherty Howard switching the play. Back all the way to Molly Erickson. Erickson had a great start to the season. Born in Stockholm, moved to Ottawa at age 8. And Katrina Peterson, you see her there with another fire outfit, may I just say that. I think she's winning the fit game in terms of the managers this season.
Yeah, we'll take a look at
everyone's got to raise their game anyway.
We'll take a look at the fit table at halftime as well, but she's in the lead by a fair margin.
Mina looking to slide across, but Moore is there. Ooh, Rolfsma took a big swing and a miss.
Well won by Pridham.
Desiree Scott, her first touches of the game. To Lisa Harris.
To the wing backs for the Ottawa Rapid, getting really high up the pitch and building with the back three.
She with the cross, and Erickson had to be careful off her line. Vukovic, pardon me.
Yeah, Chu getting up and then in-swinger off the right foot, and good timing by Vukovic to come out and claim that. You had Mina in there trying to get that little touch. But a high tempo to begin here, Signa. I took in the Halifax, so not the Halifax Tides, that was the game I saw yesterday in Montreal, but the last time the Ottawa Rapid played against the Montreal Roses was on that coverage, and the game did not have this same tempo. So high tempo beginning here for both of these sides.
Harris looking forward. Finds Downing. Scott to Scott. And Lovely out to Harris for a switch. who tried to find DB Pridham over top, and you know, why not? Pridham is, whoa! As Kate mentioned off the top of the show, really hungry for goal at all times and ready to run off that last defender. You almost have to have those checkpoints and check over your shoulder as a last defender.
Always available. Defeat, comes back to link up, is dangerous into the space and behind, so always have to be on high alert, whether you're Wolfsum or more, but it's like a collision here coming together.
Susanna Holland.
She gets caught up, tied up with Johnson, and maybe gets her leg caught up in behind her and lands on the turf quite heavily.
Lydia Bedford, the manager of Calgary Wild, looking on, the 37-year-old. I like the jacket. The jacket's pretty cool.
That's what every mom needs, right? The eyes in the back of your head.
Yes.
But it's on the back of her coat.
Holland back up on her feet, walking that off. Katrina Peterson, the manager of the Ottawa Rapid, and used to coach Holland's high school team, and in fact they played together for one season professionally as Holland was moving her way up the Norwegian ranks. Peterson, of course, playing her professional career both in Denmark and Norway. Adamek back. And resetting from Eriksson. Breaking that line forward and touch just a little heavy for Downing.
You're going to be looking for that as they try to break the press. You saw the Calgary Wild apply a little bit of patience. We've heard Lydia Bedford talk about more patience, to try to preach more patience with possession in the other team's half or the attacking third, but there showed good patience on the press, kind of sat in the mid-block, and then Johnson was the trigger, but then Ottawa was able to break it with that line-breaking pass to Mina.
Mina's pass. Just a little soft and cleared away by Bukovic. Got to Harrison. Out the other side. Scott. So 10 minutes into this match, the Calgary Wild, of course, 3 games on the road before coming back to McMahon Stadium and the Stampede City. And part of that was building relationships on the road. You know, when you're on the road and you get to travel together and as a team, they feel that the chemistry has really been built with this Wild team for that little bit of adversity to start off the season.
It's the way you have to spin it, right? Like, you can't manufacture the culture, you can't manufacture the way that the team gets along, the locker room vibe, all of that stuff. It has to be created organically, and there's no better way to do that than to do it on the road, because you've got the situation right there and you have to take advantage of it. You have to frame it that way. You can't see it as, oh, geez, we're on the road, 3 matches to start the season. You have to say, okay, let's embrace it. Let's double down on the team building, and then let's get right stuck into that culture. And it looks like they've done that very well.
Starting their season in Vancouver, then in Halifax, and then Toronto. Back home in between, of course, but Switch across. Adamek was read by Allie Green. Scott just off the shins of Mina.
And Calgary, when they're defending in that middle third, they're sitting in like a 4-5-1 with Savitsky, looks like passed to taking charge of Mina Lee and not following her man-to-man, but really aware of where she's lurking, where she's trying to hide in between the lines. And so far, I think they have to take a look at Johnson leading the line and then that next bank of players to try to cover those angles, because they've been so far too easily, Ottawa has been able to break the press when it's triggered by the Calgary Wild.
Harris. Harris missed two there. And Echo. I noticed Echo picked up the ball. Echo, if you don't know, is the second mascot in the NSL. Echo the Owl. Over at the top of your screen.
Can we see some Echo and Jocelyn content, please?
I feel like it's going to come. It's got to come. Jocelyn, of course, the mascot of the Halifax Tides. Savitsky. And Thurton. Doherty. Thurton. Savitsky to Green. Doherty Howard almost trying to run in there. Calgary, a little bit of forward play, get the fans on their feet. Almost 15 minutes into this match.
Changed the point of attack there really successfully. Savitsky passing it over to Green and then threading it in. And just that movement from Doherty Howard in front allows her to sneak in behind. It was Johnson and then Doherty Howard trying to get on the end of it, but it was enough just to disguise it a little bit, but the pass was a bit too heavy.
Adamek moving forward with space. Had some numbers. CB Pridham looking with her left foot, tried to curl it in there, but it will go well wide.
Great play by Pridham there to chop it back. She had two players at the far peg. You had Adamek trying to sneak in there around the penalty spot. Fed in there by Adamek, looking to get it back. Feigns the cross, chops it back, and then I don't know if she realizes how much space she had there. Rushes the shot just a little bit. Either pass it over, you've got Adamek streaking in, or take a touch further and then be more balanced when you're taking that shot.
Holland back to Erickson. Looking forward for Downing. Rolfsbach. Savitsky lost that battle to Desiree Scott. Mina! Mina almost hit top corner there. Mina doesn't need a lot of room, that's for sure.
And that's Desi Scott doing what you know Desi Scott is going to do. Breaking up that play, winning that tackle convincingly against Savitsky, driving into space and just releasing Mina at the feet. Has a little bit of time to take the shot, but it's just over the bar. It's a couple of opportunities now that Ottawa have had. They've looked really dangerous in that attacking transition.
Scott Adamek. Pridham. Wide to Downing. Downing trying to go 1v1. Downing looking for a shot, blocked by Moore. Tucking those arms behind. And two out for a corner kick. But you know Moore's a fan favorite already.
Oh, absolutely. But really great lively play from Downing to try to get that ball on her right foot and maybe find that near post. And she does enough to win a corner for her team. But you're seeing now Ottawa, I think, express themselves in a way that their coach will be quite pleased with here through about 18 minutes.
Vukovic organizing her box and goes to the top of the box. A header from Holland and a flick on from Desiree Scott. Calgary forced that attack. Griffith finding Doherty Howard. 4-on-4. Holly Johnson trying to chase down the ball and can't get there.
That's too bad there for the Calgary Wild. You had Maggie Doherty Howard with acres of space in front of her, just running on. Fear certainly in that Ottawa Rapid backline, but that pass a little bit too heavy for Callie Johnson. They can't make the most of that attack. You had Desi Scott slipping near that halfway stripe, and you had numbers going the other way.
And right now, Ottawa in control in terms of the possession. And as you mentioned, Katrina Peterson, their coach, saying she would really like to see them have more possession, especially higher up the pitch. And so far, so good for the Ottawa Rapids.
Well, and it's the type of possession that you want. Like, you have to contextualize it a little bit. It doesn't do you any good if you have the ball, but you're not purposeful, you don't have intent in the way that you're playing. But right now, Ottawa is dictating with their foot on the ball, and they're being vertical when those opportunities are presenting themselves. And they see the space, they're providing really good switches of play. They're going through Mina, finding her in between the lines. So there's good variety to their attack, in addition to it being very purposeful and progressive.
Moore. Doherty Howard to Savitsky. Griffith bouncing off of Liv Scott, winning the ball back. Rolsma. Beaten by Liv Scott. Liv Scott with the ball. Gets it to Pridham. Pridham chases that down. 1v1. Little contact in the box. No call. Play continues on. Holly Johnson moving forward. Trying to take Thurton in. Thurton trying to chase this ball down. Two in hot pursuit. Johnson across. Scott reads it.
There's no let up in this tempo right now. It's back and forth, going at a breakneck speed. Not sure if this is something that they can maintain for the rest of the game, or if they would want to, but opportunities going just at each other, winning the ball, breaking up play, and going quickly in the other direction.
Well, 20 minutes in, I think the fans are getting their money's worth so far at McMahon Stadium. Holland letting that run across by Scott. Now Desiree Scott. Mina. Pridham manages to control that. Downing playing in Adamek. And a chance for Ottawa on the far side. Vukovic with the stop and grabs the rebound. The two pushing forward.
Listen, if this isn't untenable for them, if this is a pace that they can maintain, this suits this Ottawa side really, really well. Adamek has been really highly physical, really involved, dictating play, kind of barging her way around. But you're seeing Mina being involved, the switches of play, and really good spells of possession from the Ottawa Rapid, where they're able to attack the box consistently. But we're seeing a second call now for holding the ball too long on Vukovic.
So holding it for 8 seconds. So that is the new FIFA rule. Comes in July 1st.
And by second, I mean so far this league, because Aaron McLeod was already called for it, not second on
Exactly.
Vukovic,
Exactly.
to be clear.
We know everybody's been watching NFL, though, out there. Corner in. And the header over top.
Desi Scott off of corner kicks. This is the new brand of high scoring for Desiree Scott. Does really well here, too, on the service. And then Desi Scott.
The destroyer.
That's right, amongst a sea of purple. And over Vukovic, no less. Almost nods that home. So here's Pridham keeping that ball in on the previous attack, and then cuts it inside, and Rolston comes back. I don't know if Pridham's already going to ground there, but I think it was over a little bit too easily for me. Signa, I know how you see it, but I don't think that is a penalty.
Well, Ottawa hoping for one, that's for sure. The fans at McMahon relieved that we're still at 0-0 right now. Beautiful night in Calgary, blue skies, 17 degrees, just perfect for a home opener. And an opportunity here. Remember, this is where they're dangerous. Maggie Doherty-Howard on the ball. We haven't seen this yet. Thurton. The cross blocked by Downing.
Ottawa players furious. I think believe it should have been a goal kick, but 3 players in front of Doherty-Howard there, and they all break, and then that ball gets played down the line to Thurton. They win a corner kick out of it, but listen, given the class of a Doherty-Howard on service, that's straight from the training pitch. It's great to have variety. It's great to show some creativity, but get in the box. You've been so lethal finding more on these set pieces. Why not do it again?
Maybe saving something for later. Here's the corner kick, though, right to the front post, but it's cleared away. Holly Johnson, the throw. Referee Sheila Couture. Calling for a hydration break. I wouldn't think with 17 degrees, but it appears that's what we're having here.
Hydration breaks in May?
Come on. Behind the play, Stephanie Vukovic down getting some medical attention. "25 minutes into this match, 0-0 between the hosts, Calgary Wild FC, getting some word from Lydia Bedford, their coach, holding off Ottawa Rapid so far. Certainly Ottawa, we know that possession was in their favor, but so are the shots right now. Amy, you see that 6 shots to none. So
speaking exactly to what Katrina Peterson wanted her team to achieve today is to be on the ball more, to dictate possession, to be more fluid, but to create opportunities out of it. So clearly you have the balance of possession, you're dominating the play, but you're creating the opportunities for yourself. So all that's missing is for them to have a number next to their team name, to be up 1 or 2-0 here, having 6 chances on goal. But I think she'll be pleased so far what she's seen from the Ottawa Rapids.
But the fans here in Calgary want to see more from the Wild team. And happy to see Stephanie Bukovic back up, the 29-year-old from Toronto. Calgary, an offensive throw here. Allie Green. Scott. Griffith. Savitsky. Slows down quickly, but she finds that release pass to Sorty. Thurton. Thurton trying to turn shoe. And does. Looking for the call, but maybe she was held up. Wolfma. Erickson will clear that out. All the way back to Moore.
What you're seeing from Ottawa as well, Signa is not only dictating things in terms of possession and on the attack, looking the more dangerous of the two sides, but they've maintained that organized shape where they're really tough to break down. And you think maybe if they're putting more in the attack or throwing bodies forward and numbers forward, that it might leave them exposed going the other way. But so far we haven't really seen it. We've seen a couple of bursts and moves forward on the right-hand side from Sorty and others, but otherwise not very much.
Mina. DB Pridham. Downing. Nice shot. Nothing doing there.
Yeah, never really threatened, but you like that ability out of a player looking to size up the opponent, try to take Sorty on, elects to go with the shot. Maybe takes a little bit of a deflection.
Product of the Whitecaps Academy and Canadian Youth International. Sorty Howard brings Sorty, one of those breakthrough runs, just like we saw earlier in the game. Sorty with space to Thurton. Thurton looking for a dangerous cross. Ball spilled out, but Erickson hops on it. Calgary's best opportunity so far this evening.
Absolutely, and all these opportunities are coming down that right-hand side, whether it's Sorty leading the charge or Savitsky feeding Thurton, but numbers in the box as well, so came close on that occasion.
Savitsky switching play, partially, Moore looking for Thurton.
Wilson be a little bit more aggressive, especially when they're in possession. Signa maybe a little bit of a tactical adjustment. Lydia Bedford maybe had a word at that hydration break. Just to release her a little bit forward, say don't worry about it. We've got Savitsky sitting in that hole. We've got Maggie Doherty-Howard who can drop a little bit deeper if you guys cover. Go on, get forward, get numbers in the box, and she came close there on that cross from Thurton.
Sorty. The crowd let us know that.
Big tackle by Moore as well.
Wolfma Wissler moving up the pitch, looking for Griffith. Savitsky. Molly Johnson trying to free Griffith.
Johnson tries to slip Griffith in, but I think she had a case there to just keep that for herself. Not even fake it, but just try it. She's right on the edge of the 18-yard box.
Or just slowing the game down. Hasn't been many slow moments in this game, that's for sure. Just over 30 minutes in, scoreless between the hometown Wild and the visiting Ottawa Rapids. Adamek bumping Griffith off the ball. Nina.
So we saw with those two previous sequences, Moore's pass is a little bit wayward. It's on the wrong side of Johnson. It gets picked off. Mina gives it back away. Moore gets another shot at it. She's able to find Johnson's feet, but then Johnson's first touch is poor. So just a little bit of lack of quality in the execution in the way that Calgary are building out. We just need to solve that a little bit.
Forward, but Erickson off the line. And a whistle from Sheila Couture.
Hollering about. Moore was clearly down behind the play. He wanted the referee to blow it down.
So official restart. With 10 minutes remaining in this opening half. Gibson and Holland is playing a game of keep away.
Yep. Sort of cat and mouse, but not with the mouse that we've been referring to. Taylor Moore's missing.
Johnson trying to shield the ball out of danger. Ottawa wins it back. Downing and Sorty. This is a nice battle on this side. Sorty winning that one. Downing not giving up. Downing looking right into the arms of Vukovic.
So earlier, I was going in my praise of Stella Downing for calling her own number, for cutting inside and unleashing a shot, albeit a weak one. That time she had Adamek at the top of the box and somebody else and elected to shoot, so perhaps not the right decision in that moment.
Wilson, Doherty Howard. Picked up by a tracking Adamek. Scott tackling Kali Johnson.
So this is Downing again, cutting inside. Beats Doherty in that 1v1 battle, able to find inside, but you're not seeing on the screen there was Adamek that you could have squared the ball to, but you also had an Ottawa player coming just in behind the play that you could have laid it off to as well.
Griffith didn't have someone running forward. Savitsky gathering the ball back. Rolfsma, big switch to Thurton. Savitsky finding Thurton. doorstep of Johnson.
That was really well executed by Sarita Thurton. Takes a great first touch, head is up all the way, and cuts it back to Johnson, who's just able to get her foot on it, attempting, I think, to redirect it, but it glances off her shin on the left side and just squeaks out around the other side, but needs to do a lot better there because Thurton did everything right.
And Johnson, as we've seen so far in the league with 2 goals, is dangerous in front of goal. Leading goal scorer for Western United when she made the choice to come to the Calgary Wild. And Thurton is putting a lot of pressure on.
And we were tasked by Holland.
And offside.
Now, a rare miscue from the center back in Holland to give the ball away there, because I thought they'd been doing a pretty good job, that back 3 or 4, if you lump Chu in there, but mostly building out with a back 3 and really calm, drawing the opponent in, usually Thurton or Johnson on the trigger, and then playing out calmly, finding the ball, spraying it wide, or finding that line-breaking pass to Mina, who's playing a little bit higher up and lurking in between the lines.
Adamek called for a little too much aggression on Allie Green.
Well, whatever the aggression scale is set to today for Adamek, it is working in her favor. I mean, there goes a little bit over the line, but she's playing just right on the edge today, and she's a thorn in the Calgary Wild side. She's being physical, but she's also clinical. She's dictating play, and is really difficult to deal with if you're the Calgary Wild.
Green with a bit of space, but Liv Scott picking it off. But Calgary winning the ball back. Wilson, read by Scott. Wilson wins it back, and that'll be a foul.
Yeah, really well done by Wilson. Gives the ball away cheaply, and then takes it upon herself to win it back again and earns the foul. Is that Adamek into the book?
I believe so. Sheila Couture writing Kayla Adamek into her book, yellow card. Wolfsbach. Storty closed down by Downing. Harris.
Great composure to get themselves out of trouble there.
Desiree Scott gets enough of a toe in there. And a challenge to Adamek. Adamek. The cross in. Vukovic right on her line with a charging Pridham. Vukovic has been solid this season for the Calgary Wild. 6-year professional all across Europe. Capped for Croatia 4 times. And we talked about her athletic family, of course, before. Her twin sister Sophie, an Olympian in beach volleyball. Her older sister Natalie, a coach at Toronto Metropolitan University in soccer. And a brother who plays basketball, Matthew. So it's all in the genes of the Vukovic family.
Not towering in stature, but really commanding in her presence. And her timing is impeccable when she comes out to play.
Scott. Looking for Liv Scott, finds her. Adamek. Trying for that overpass to Liv Scott. Deflected. Pridham. Looking for Downing. That's Chu. Trying to tuck that ball inside. Couldn't get enough power on it.
That was a beautiful ball over to Chu across the top of the 18, played by Pridham. And then Chu just looking to get inside, get a little bit of daylight. Maybe Curlette far post, but elects to go first post. But Bukovic is up to the task.
And Pridham trying to run off more. And the pass was there, but just a little too fast on the run.
Assistant referee in the right place to make that call. It was tight, but I think it was pretty evident that it was offside.
Wild has done a lot of community work, getting the word out that professional women's soccer is in their city, and you can hear the fans today.
A player like Savitsky for Calgary Wild hasn't gotten on the ball as much as I'm sure Lydia Bedford would like, or as she would like as a player. But I think that's credit to the Ottawa Rapid in the way that they're sitting in their shape. They're well organized. They're forcing Calgary Wild to the outside. And the Ottawa Rapid, the last match versus Montreal Roses, they were forcing the Roses to the outside, but then were losing the ensuing 1v1 battles. They were getting isolated and getting beaten. Today it's not the case.
Johnson to Thurton. Thurton, the quick cross! And it's across the body. Desiree Scott clearing it out of danger.
Again, that right-hand channel, Johnson releases Thurton. And Thurton, great pass in there, just a dummy, but kind of gets dragged down, but does enough to drag the defenders to create the space in behind. But unfortunately, nobody at the back post, or just beaten there by the Ottawa Rapid defender.
Closing minute of this opening half, and an opportunity here for the Calgary Wild. Off a corner kick, another set piece, ball in. Well off the far post. And 4 minutes of added time indicated by the fourth official.
The fourth official has indicated there will be a minimum of 4 minutes added to the first half.
Doherty knocked down by Adamek, who's arguing, but that is a free kick for the Wild.
Yeah, and Adamek already on a yellow. Risky business there. Yeah, and good on Grace Doherty. A clear shirt pull for the player that she just got around before that. Stays on her feet and then wins her team a dangerous free kick.
Doherty Howard, the veteran on the ball, as she often is. Shielding her eyes from the sun. See if this affects the service. Looking at that back post.
Yeah, just overhit. You saw Michaela Moore just sitting in a little bit of an offside position to try to bring that back line down a little bit. But you know that it's more the target all day long, but just overhit by Doherty Howard.
Harris looking forward, finding Downing. Downing showed well in this start. Double challenge there.
Both up and running.
And Griffith was looking to break Doherty Howard and Callie Johnson free. Doherty Howard. Griffith. The cross in, headed away by Holland. Doherty. Savitsky and Doherty. Doherty finds some space, can't get the cross in, but does earn a late corner kick for the Wild. Just about a minute and change left in added time in this opening half.
And Calgary Wild really finding their footing towards the end of this first half, looking a little bit more self-assured, trying to dictate terms a little bit to the Ottawa Rapid. And one way they've been doing it in the result that they got in that 4-1 victory, emphatic one over the Halifax Tides, was by way of set pieces.
Incoming corner. Sure hands of Erickson. Erickson getting that up the pitch. Calgary hoping for one late charge in this opening half. Johnson looking for Wilson, cleared away. And that will be the opening half. After 45 minutes at McMahon Stadium in Calgary, it is the Calgary Wild 0 visiting Ottawa Rapid 0. The Northern Super League continues on TSN. The panel with Kate and Amy is next.
This Northern Super League match is supported by WestJet, the official airline of the Northern Super League.
We have some special Wild fans here at McMahon Stadium for today's game. Welcome Arcootis footballers, powered by Penny and Teal and Canadian Tire Jumpstars. Enjoy the game.
Line brought to you by BMO. The score after 45, 0-0 in a game that has been played at breakneck speed. I feel like I need a hydration break after watching that half. That was quite the pace. And here now are the stats after 45. And to me, Amy, it's the shot differential that really stands out here.
Yeah, because early on the possession was tilted really in the favor of Ottawa. I think Calgary grew into that half, but the shots right there, 9-0. Calgary got some chances at the end where they're crossing. Most of it's coming through that right flank, but opportunities on goal have been few and far between. But Ottawa has been really impressive in what they've been able to generate, not only in the opportunities in attacking the box, but the creativity, the variety in their attack that they're showing.
Well, let's talk now about the Intact Insurance move of the half. This is when Desi Scott did what Desi Scott does. She broke up the play. The Destroyer won the ball back, fed it to Mina Ali, who got a shot off. What did you like about this?
To me, this is just kind of a hallmark of play that I expect to see more of under Katrina Peterson. It's Desi Scott. Again, this is what she does as the Destroyer breaks up play, plays simply, releases somebody forward who's in a better opportunity or better place than she is to unleash the shot. And Mina Ali is right there and should do better with that opportunity. And you see by the body language that she knows it as well, because that should have been 1-0 up for Ottawa Rapid, and they had a few other opportunities where they looked really dangerous.
So when Calgary looked threatening, it was often down that right flank, and it was often Sarita Thurton.
It was, and it was, I mentioned it, that Savitsky, who is going a little bit deeper, insulating more in Rolfsema, looking out for Mina Ali and her movements, but you're gaining Storty going a little bit further. Savitsky occasionally is releasing them, but more often than not, it's straight to Thurton from the Moore or Rolfsema, that line-breaking pass, and really being aggressive and penetrating down that right flank. Very infrequently is it going through the middle, down the spine. So they've found where the grass is greener, and right now it's in that right channel. And Sarita Thurton is having a game right now. All you're missing is that final action. You see it here, cut back perfectly. It's maybe not this one, it's the one before where it comes to Callie Johnson, and it just goes off her shin where she just has to open up her foot, and that's in the back of the net.
Well, listen, Calgary will try to use this halftime to regroup, to reset, and to give their fans something to cheer about. The score at the half, 0-0 at McMahon. And listen, coming up, some big news in the world of Canadian women's football to tell you about. Stay with us, everybody. See you after this. This Northern Super League match is supported by Toyota, proud founding partner of the NSL. Welcome back to the NFL Halftime presented by BMO. Well, some Canadian women's soccer news outside of the NFL to tell you about. Last weekend in Guatemala, Team Canada won the inaugural CONCACAF Women's Futsal Championship, defeating Panama 8-2 in the final. And some of the members, as you can see there, of that team were at the Montreal Roses game yesterday, bringing along their medals. They've now booked their ticket to the first ever FIFA Futsal Women's World Cup in the Philippines in November. Esther Brassard was a key member of that team, scoring a tournament-leading 8 goals, and she recently caught up with Signa Butler.
Has it sunk in yet? And can we take a look at that medal from Guatemala City?
My head is still in Guatemala. The tournament has been amazing. So that's the medal here with the CONCACAF logo, and it's great to have it in gold. It was amazing, so much unforgettable memories. I think we started from so far and we worked very hard, took it one game at a time, and we were able to beat very good countries and eventually be the champions and qualify for the World Cup. So it's a dream come true.
Well, a huge congrats to Esther Brassard and the entire team. Now listen, since today is Mother's Day, Brianne Foley is standing by not with players, but with 2 of the Calgary Wild moms. She's alongside Michaela Moore's mother, Donna, and Grace Storty's mom, Pam.
As this is a very special day, we have 2 very special guests here sidelines with me. We have Donna Moore, mother of Michaela, and we have Pam Storty, mother of Grace. You flew from New Zealand for the home opener and then back to New Zealand and back here. Why was it so important for you to be here today?
I wouldn't have missed this. This is priceless. We've really been treated like royalty, and it's absolutely fabulous. And you know, it's coming from the top down at Calgary. It's incredible. Yeah. I go back tomorrow. So Canada for the weekend.
Wow, such a quick turnaround. And Pam, for you, growing up and having Grace grew up in Calgary and being here for this moment, what does that mean for you?
It's amazing to see a pathway now in place for the women's sport. It's fantastic, and I couldn't be more proud for her to be part of this organization, top notch.
I mean, everyone here is so excited that the ladies are here playing on this turf, playing at this stadium. What does it mean for you to watch the growth of the sport in a country like Canada?
Oh, Michaela's always been so passionate about football and wanting to have the next generation be passionate as well. So this is a dream for her, and when I see her this happy, it's a dream for me. So the pathway's incredible, and keep it going. Fabulous.
We heard the resounding cheer when we heard Grace's name. What does that mean for you and your family, just being able to have that moment with Calgary?
It's amazing. We have a lot of family and friends here and people that we didn't even know were getting tickets, and they all came out to support, and it's amazing. It's so precious. Love it.
Also amazing and precious is you and everything you've done. So happy Mother's Day, ladies, and thank you so much. Go enjoy the match.
And I'd just like to say there's a lot of mothers up there that just want me to say thank you from every mother that's in that stand. Yeah, it's incredible. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you both.
Yeah.
I can't begin to imagine how proud those moms feel. And look at all of the moms and mother figures here prior to the game with their daughters. Listen, the Wild will be looking to give those moms and all their fans something to cheer about in the next 45. At the half in Calgary, it's a 0-0 draw. Up next, Amy and Signa have second half action from McMahon. This Northern Super League match is supported by Coca-Cola, proud partner and official soft drink of the NSL.
Welcome back. And Amy, we looked at these stats during your chat with Kate, but as we go into the second half of a 0-0 match between Calgary and Ottawa, what kind of changes would you like to see, especially on the Calgary side, for generating those offensive chances?
I think you keep doing what you're doing. I think you might have to involve your midfield a little bit more, but you run up against a really well-drilled, organized Ottawa Rapid side that is preventing penetration centrally. So it's by design that they're pushing them to the flanks. They have had a lot of success there as maybe a substitution to get some fresh legs on the attack and maybe get Maggie Doherty-Howard on the ball a little bit more. I think you're seeing Wilson utilized well, sneaking up after that hydration break. We saw that tweak with Lydia Bedford. It led to more opportunities going forward, and they're still looking for more goals in open play, Sigma, so maybe that might be the key to unlocking that.
We're going to see a couple of substitutions looking ready to come into the game. Calgary native, the 17-year-old high school student, Tegan Stewart, and Danielle Sear, Canada West all-time leading scorer in U Sports with UBC. Sarah Griffith coming out of the match for Sear.
And that's forward for forward, but not a like for like. Two very different profiles there. Griffith, a lot more dangerous looking in behind, a lot livelier, and maybe quicker in tight spaces. But with Danielle Sear, you get a classic and archetypal number 9 who's going to be able to be more of a target in there, draw opponents, and maybe create space for the likes of Stewart operating underneath.
Well, McMahon Stadium awaits its first goal, and they'd sure like it to be from the home side, Calgary Wild. The Ottawa Rapid and Molly Erickson in goal have been thwarting them at every chance, but first they need more chances on goal. Erickson back to Harris. To Holland.
Looking to set up a little bit higher, it looks like, in their press than they were. Kind of in a mid to high press in the first half, and then just waiting patiently, biding their time for that trigger that Johnson was typically leading, but now everyone seems to be set up a lot higher.
Stewart turning, finding space, but it's back all the way to Vukovic. Bodied off the ball by Sear.
Important when you've been subbed in, you get involved immediately, and you can do that via a quick touch, you can do that via a pass, or you can do it via a body check.
A nice turn by Pridham. Trying to play Downing in. Battling with Storty. Storty and Downing having a nice battle this afternoon.
Storty been involved in some really good ones so far through their matches. That inaugural match versus Holly Ward. And usually holds her own against some of the best attackers in this league, but today it's been great. I agree with you. It's been impressive to see them both not let up, not give 1 inch to the other.
Calgary native Storty, her mom Pam watching today. Give her University of Memphis standout, and has a year of pro under her belt, playing part of a season with Braga in Portugal. Desiree Scott reading the play well. Here back to Rolfsma. Oh, for a wild throw. Rolfsma winning that back. Doherty Howard swept away from Desiree Scott.
I talked about just before the second half kicked off is Ottawa limiting those chances centrally or right down the spine, but one way towards goal and to getting Maggie Doherty Howard on the ball and threatening from distance or creating something and playing provider is winning the ball higher up the pitch, and they're going to be able to do that if they continue to deploy this high press that so far is causing Ottawa a little bit of problems.
Harris looking forward in a breaking run. Bukovic off her line, but the late flag for offside. Savitsky taking that quickly. Scott running across her body, that'll run too far. Savitsky. Stewart. Doherty Howard might be too heavy a touch.
Great movement though, really well executed, just safe for that touch that just took it a little bit too far, but that's what you're going to get out of Stewart in there, drifting into those pockets, getting on the ball, being available. They're able to win the ball after Desi Scott lets it run a little bit too far across her body, win it, go direct, go vertical. But again, showing some purpose in their own possession as they're winning the ball in the opponent's half.
Erickson swinging across to Harris. And a long switching ball, but does go out for an Ottawa throw. Adamek quickly on it. Pridham firing that well above goal.
The confidence you want your strikers to have. As a midfielder, that wouldn't be my call there, but it's the audacity to try, and that sometimes it will come off.
Evie Pridham with that great individual effort in their last match against Montreal.
Out of nothing. Against the run of play, where Montreal had dominated and dictated through most of that first half.
And right at the end of that first half, Pridham put an exclamation point on it. Bukovic playing forward. Liv Scott pushing forward. Pridham laying off to Adamek, and Bukovic has to get a hand on it. Downing to Pridham, blocked by Moore, and out of the way. Thurton earning the throw in, but that was dangerous territory.
You've seen Adamek just disrupt all over the pitch today. Unleashes a shot from just outside the 18, and Downing does well to keep that alive. And then Pridham was involved again as that ball got cut back by Downing.
Savitsky. And Sorty. Not much space. Wilson and Thurton. A lot of pressure, and Shorty does well to get out of that and has some space, looking for the through ball. Here! Timely tackle by Liv Scott, because that was loads of trouble.
Stewart can't believe that ball never got across to her. So Story does really well to win that ball, maybe keeps it a little bit too long. That release is on down the right channel, finds her with the way to steer and unable to get it right across the box over to Stewart, who was just waiting, begging for that ball to get played to her.
Nervy moment for both sides. And I don't think this pace has slowed down at all, Amy.
No, I think it's down a little bit from the opening 20 because that was an insane tempo, Cygnus. So I think we've come down from that a little bit, but it's picked up again here.
And Ottawa continuing to own the shot statistic in this match with 11, several on target.
Yeah, which tells a story that they've been able to dominate the ball, but they've been able to create the chances as well. What that stat does not tell the story of is that Calgary has offered some pushback towards the end of that first half, where they were really lively and active in that right channel, led by Sarita Thurton, who is doing everything right. Numbers flooding the box, but they were unable to get a shot on frame. So that has to be better, but they've laid the foundation to build on that, and then hopefully in this second half, you see those stats go up, and maybe even the number next to that Calgary name. Because that's what you want. You don't care about the stats at the end of the game if you're able to just put one in. One shot on frame and one goal. That's what you want if you're Lydia Bedford at this point.
Stewart playing forward. Thurton having a goal from distance. Why not? Open things up.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking to get on the ball. Drifts inside from that right flank. Has a little bit of space in front of her, and exactly as you said, Signa, why not? Try her luck. Try her hand at a shot from distance, 25 yards. See what comes of it.
Thurton's been a big, bright spot for Calgary from Ajax, Ontario, Canadian Youth International, been to a couple Youth World Cups, U17 and U20.
The subtlety of the movement and the deftness of the touches, the technique with Mina Lee is pretty remarkable. It sometimes gets lost in the game, but just getting her team out of trouble there, just one simple touch just to a teammate on the flanks, and they get them right out of trouble, and they get going, and all of a sudden they're set up in the opponent's half, and it's just due to the vision that she has. Back to goal, defender on her back, but able to find a teammate.
Downing active, not the right touch at that stage, but Calgary now pushing forward. It's Danielle Steer against Holland. Steer, ball over top. Oh, what an opportunity that was for Danielle Steer and the Calgary Wild.
Yeah, it's got a half step on the Ottawa defender, and the head drop after she glanced up. Looking for Erickson off her line. There's that little slip there. And then takes a look, and it was a great try, great opportunity by Steer. Doesn't quite come off, but that was the right decision in the moment there, and she knows she's got the confidence to score from there, and recognizes that Erickson has left herself vulnerable.
Holland cramping up on that right leg again. Is that a mustard packet? That's my guess.
Or like the Hot Pockets, you know, see the grimaces?
Oh, yeah.
You go in, it tastes awful, but it'll help immediately with those electrolytes and
tastes awful, but
try
it
to
works.
mitigate
It's
the
not cough
cramping. Exactly. Buckley's best from whistles. But it used to be like mustard packets, used to be pickle juice.
Yeah,
so
pickle juice
I
is
think,
a classic.
I think this is the updated remedy for cramp. Now here's that try again with Sears. So the recognition there, just to have a go, and it was going to have to be perfect. But you love her for trying it.
There's a wave going at McMahon. To mention all these youth players who had the day off of their games and practices to come out and watch their hometown Wild. First foray in the professional women's soccer. Substitution getting ready to come in for the Ottawa Rapids. Couple substitutions there. Joanna Fridlin in the foreground there, number 7. Coming in for Desiree Scott. Desiree Scott taking a seat. Very effective in this game. And then a youth development contract. Naomi Lofthouse, 16 years of age, from the Ottawa South United, coming into the match. Saw a little bit of time in their last match against Montreal and coming in to get another taste of NFL action. Youth development contracts, these players are not compensated. They're 18 and under, and they can sign 2 of them per year. You can only have 3 appearances per contract. But what an experience to be 16 years of age playing professional soccer. I'm looking for Downing. Doesn't get there.
Substitution for the Ottawa Rapids. Coming off the pitch, number 2, Susan Hollows. Coming on the pitch, number 31, Lofthouse. Coming off the pitch, number 11, Desiree Scott.
I think we're going to see Lofthouse shift into more of that wide player, which will allow Chu to drift inside and be involved a little bit more as an outlet.
Downing going one-on-one against the New Zealand international, the veteran Moore. And Moore winning the ball and then swiftly tackled, no call. Give and go. And out for a corner kick off the foot of Storty. So Ottawa with an opportunity from the corner flag.
And again, that when I believe that's Lofthouse that gets the ball there and is deflected out for the corner kick. It's almost like before the ball had come to her, she'd already decided that she was going to play it. Doesn't recognize or doesn't see that she's got a couple of yards of space, could have taken a touch, teed one up from just inside the penalty area, and perhaps had a go on goal.
So
3 to Thurton coming out of the game. An excellent first pass from Thurton, and coming in is Christy Gray. But the corner kick for the Ottawa Rapids. Cleared away from Gray. Adamek. Chu is trying to find space inside, closed down quickly, but turned over. Downing. Mina to Chu. Chu over top, headed away from Moore. And Wilsma will kick that up the pitch. Savitsky dragged down and earns the free kick. Ball stuck in Savitsky's feet. Rolf was there to sweep it up. And the two teenagers battling it out. Lofthouse and Stewart. Moore up over top. Minutes into the second half. Still awaiting an offensive opportunity for either team. Jordy Howard. A late tackle from Ellen Gibson. Haven't talked about Gibson too much in this match.
No, we haven't.
That partnership that's between her and Desiree Scott really was impressive in the first two matches, and we haven't seen much of her in this one.
We haven't, but I think a lot of work done off the ball. And I was just going to say, prior to you bringing up Gibson, is you often toil sometimes unnoticed when you're playing the heart of that midfield and you're shuttling around and you're covering ground.
Free kick, Jordy Howard into the box. Not headed away. Stewart had a chance. Couldn't get the shot off. And Bukovic well off her line, as she often does, so confident with the ball at her feet.
Unflappable. But to the point about Gibson, is earlier on I confused Gibson and Lofthouse. It was Gibson who had gone in a foray a little bit further up the pitch, and I caught my eye as well that she'd made her way up the pitch. But with this injection of fresh legs from the Ottawa Rapid, you take Desiree Scott out of the match, you move Chu inside, you've got some youth there. Can you maintain the integrity of your structure? Or are they more vulnerable now? They might have more energy, but from an organization standpoint, are they more vulnerable now down the middle? And is that something that Calgary Wild are going to exploit?
Ball manages to squeak its way through a lovely turn. And up the pitch come the Wild. Wilson trying to thread the needle and could not get there. Liv Scott breaking that up. Again, another solid game from Liv Scott, this 24-year-old first-year pro. Really been impressive for the Ottawa Rapids.
Always spoken about in glowing terms by Katrina Peterson, what she brings, and even though she's young, in terms of leadership and her steady presence at the back.
Gibson moving forward. And finding the pass. Downing. The cross in to the far post. No one's running on. Gray has got to be careful because Adamek is there. And Adamek with another body off the ball.
maybe a little bit too blatant there. But here there's a great switch of play to find Downing, and then that ball just drops in the 18, and Adamek just late on that run and shoulders Gray off the ball. But occasionally I have to say, from a player's perspective, that has been called a foul in this match, and occasionally it is not a foul. So it's tough to know as a player. But Adamek continuing with the physical play despite being booked earlier in the first half.
The wave continuing to go at McMahon Stadium. Moore turning back. Vukovic will clear it out of the way as Ottawa was pressing.
To win a corner there, a combination play between Downing and Mina Lee, who has continued to be influential in this game.
Chu and Lee playing short. Lee, and the whistle goes.
The ball was rolling when Chu passed that to Mina Lee,
Fair.
so I wonder if that's why it's being pulled back.
So the Rapid on the corner. Here's Chu. Floating one in there, headed away by Rolfsma. Chopped back in the box. Lee.
Yellow card attempt while Coach Andre Vanescu at the...
Adamek is hopefully kind of swings that back in, and Storty is not really the clearance that you would have liked, puts it right into the path of Lee and tries her luck with a shot just from outside the 18. But a second half, I think, Signa, where neither team has dominated effectively. It's been a little bit more disjointed. Both teams are a little bit more stretched. There's been more opportunities in transition. So we saw a really high tempo in the first half, but it was clear that it was Ottawa that it was imposing it. And then towards the latter stages of that first half, Calgary kind of came rolling back in and said, well, hang on a minute, we want to put our stamp on this game as well. No goals to show for it, but lots of shots on frame for the Ottawa Rapids. And then the second half has been less decisive by Ottawa, and it's been a little bit of a free-for-all. You look at the amount of knockdowns, the amount of second balls. I don't have the stats in front of me right now, but I would say it's been split pretty evenly. And I think as a result, you don't really see a team that's dictating the possession nor the tempo.
Wilson cutting back, giving herself a little bit of space. There's some space for Green on the left side.
When they get into that attacking third. So finding a little bit more space to operate after Desi Scott has been subbed out. Maggie Doherty-Howard able to find the ball to feet about 30 yards out and square the ball effectively, but you've got a front line that's not really providing any variety. There's no runs in behind, and sure, you're set up at the top of 18. There's not a whole lot of space to work with, but there's not a whole lot of movement either happening. So you need somebody going at players and dragging defenders out to make that space for yourself.
Oh, Doherty-Howard and Sear just ran into each other at the same time. And Ottawa on a break. Walkout. Downing. 1v1 handled by Storty. Downing says it was out. And that's not good. Jody Howard and Danielle Sear bumping into each other at pace.
Yeah, almost like upper ribs to upper ribs. Intended to hopefully just maybe got the wind knocked out of her. The best case scenario, and she'll be okay to go. I hope it's not something more severe. But I really liked on that previous play with Downing where runs into a Calgary defender, shepherds her up and out of the box inside. That wasn't available to her, so she chops it back and goes right back into the box. What I'd like to see from her next time is keep going, take it to the byline, force that defender into either conceding the corner or fouling you and earning a penalty.
Lydia Bedford looking on in concern. Her captain and quarterback in the midfield, and it looks like we will get a substitute indicated from the trainers. A lot of back and forth.
And hand gestures.
Hand gestures.
Taking that collarbone and that shoulder. And they're waving off the stretcher, which is what the referees are indicating. I think at this point, from a referee standpoint, you get the stretcher on, then there's a course of action to get the player up and off the pitch. At this point, they're just treating and taking their time as well.
Being told attendance today of 8,500 at McMahon Stadium, so well done, great turnout for this first game for the Calgary Wild, and great to see Maggie Doherty Howard up on her own account, but definitely holding that right collarbone shoulder area.
Shoulder girdle, I might even say.
Oh. That's the technical term, is it?
Sure.
And it is an Ottawa corner kick to bring us back to the play at hand. Substitute coming into the game. Janaea Robertson coming into the match. For the Calgary Wild, for Doherty Howard. A restart of this corner kick. "15 minutes left in this game. Ottawa Rapid on the corner, two. Right to Stewart. Stewart getting it out for a throw. Lofthouse.
Just lacked in precision. You saw Pridham bodying Rolfsema, wanted to raid along the stick. That ball just didn't curl the way that Lofthouse wanted it to.
Adamek with the high clearance. Moore. Doherty, pressured by Downing. Doherty pulling forward. Taken away by Lofthouse.
great play by Lofthouse there. Her cross let her down a little bit earlier, but is able to escape pressure, find Chu, and draw the foul. Give the team a chance to take a breath, and then we'll see Forbes into the game.
Substitution for Ottawa Rapid FC.
Melanie Forbes
off the pitch,
lining up, coming to the match for Stella Downing. Downing had a nice outing today. 78 minutes. Melanie Forbes coming in as a second-half substitute in the last match against Montreal, Mississauga, Ontario native. And this first touch is out of bounds.
Harris has been a really consistent force of a presence back there for the Ottawa Rapid. Just the right touch at the right time, great composure.
Deer given away. Pridham. There's some popping over top. Mina. Doherty gets back. Trying to prevent the corner, but it'll go for another Rapid corner kick. It's a miscues in attack from Calgary.
Yeah, but that's a great, what you don't see before, that is the layoff from Pridham, who vacates that space, brings the Calgary defender with her, opening up that channel for Mina to run into.
Two. The cross. The header from Harris. And out for a goal kick. Harris, you see there, from Hazlitt, New Jersey, on loan from the Houston Dash, where she's played for 2 seasons, with a couple other Canadians, of course. Forbes was looking to move forward, ran into Doherty. With 10 minutes remaining, scoreless right now.
Real solid performance by Grace Doherty today. So reliable back there, so consistent.
And the applause for another hometown kid, Kaylee Brooks, coming into the game. Allie Green heading off the pitch. Kaylee Brooks coming in. Had played in Ireland with Treaty United. And a rare miscue from Bukovic. Yep. Usually the distribution is A+.
On that occasion, just the threat of the high press was enough for Bukovic to put it out of bounds.
Lofthouse. Nice footwork. The final pass wasn't there. Mina Lee getting tangled up and getting called for the foul. Pretty obvious one.
Intentionally tangled, Signa?
Pretty obvious
to
one.
me. Yeah. His body's flying all over the place.
Gray coming in hard and getting called for the foul. So a foul festival at McMahon these final few moments as Lydia Bedford looks on. Wanting more out of her squad today, certainly. And can they show her a little spark in these final 10 minutes and change probably with added time? Dangerous territory! And out for a corner kick, but Liv Scott had a stab at it.
And Ottawa able to win that first ball, so good ball swung in by Chu. And it's Pridham who gets up, causes enough problems, so it's not won cleanly. and it falls to Scott. But Storty just gets in the way, pushes it out for a corner. Ottawa looking threatening.
2. Out swinger. Headed away by Robertson. Ball popped in. Lofthouse keeping it alive. Fridlin. Fridlin playing in Gibson. Gibson, the cross back and out for a corner.
That really great try, really great run from deep from Ellen Gibson. And we haven't called Friedland's name a whole lot since she came on as well. More often deployed a little bit higher up the pitch in the wide areas. Been doing some work in the middle of the pitch, but gets on the ball there and plays Gibson in. That was cut back with some pace and put out for a corner.
So Chu on that corner kick again. 84th minute. Skies it over the head of Pridham. And it's a yo-yo, corner to corner.
But the second half has felt a little bit like as well. This is a back and forth affair, but not really as clinical and well executed as the first half, at least from Ottawa. But this corner kick needs to be driven in with a little bit more pace, same area, but not lofted nearly as high.
Fridland on this one. Fridland driving it to the back post, headed across. Chu playing in Fridland. Fridland a touch. Trying to go 1v1. Stone. And Adamek will play the ball back in.
We mentioned how good Grace Doherty has been all game. Just gets that foot in. Clean contact with the ball. Friedland goes over. And you're not getting past Grace Doherty today.
Robertson back to Wolfsma, who's looking forward, but headed down by Liv Scott. Vina Lee is trying to connect with Pridham. Moore is there. Moore taken down, and that's a foul. Chu earning a yellow card. Minutes left for a little action.
What's thwarted some of the fluidity on both sides has been the choppiness of the second half. So many fouls, bodies flying on both sides. Real physical nature to this matchup, but hasn't really lent itself to good spells of possession and one team dictating the tempo.
Moore looking for Stewart. Well controlled. Robertson and Stewart playing 1v1. Savitsky trying to find that through ball. Stewart, caught up in her feet. Forbes. Moore looking forward. And a throw-in.
Steer just able to get her foot in there at the last minute, and it caroms off Harris.
And this crowd of 8,000
yellow card received by Ottawa Wild FC number 19,
cheer their team onto a goal. Nina Lee pushing forward to Forbes. Wolfsma brings the ball back to Bukovic. bouncing around like popcorn out there.
You're seeing an Ottawa team a lot more stretch, a lot of space between those team parts, but somehow they're not completely disconnected. They're still able to have numbers around the ball, and that's why Calgary hasn't been able to take advantage of those spaces that have opened up.
Forbes. Cut in the cross. Short cross to Stewart. Picked off. Two. Takes a deflection into the arms of Vukovic as we close in on these final minutes of the match. Nil-nil. Making sure her team has the throw in. And we'll see another substitution.
Substitution for Ottawa Rapid FC coming off the pitch, number 14, Nina Lee. Coming on the pitch, number 6, Julia Minati.
Minati, 4 times the midfielder of the year in League One Ontario. With the injuries and stoppages in play, Amy, so this match isn't over yet.
Lots still to play for.
And ball. And it's 9 minutes of added time, so hold on to those cowboy hats, will you? Yeah.
No. Yahoo?
Yahoo? No, I think it's...
The fourth official has indicated there will be a minimum of 9 minutes of added time for the second half.
While trying to settle down the pace of this match, but at the same time finding those direct channels, more heading, and can't connect those passes together. Stewart was looking for Chrissy Gray. And another foul by Wilsonov.
It's been a sloppier half as well, untidy in possession, some errors, but it's been on both sides.
Calgary with the bulk of the fouls today. And Forbes offside. Katrina Peterson's club on the road for their next match Thursday. Sorry, back at home for their match against Vancouver on Thursday. And Calgary, of course, staying at home because they've been away for 3 matches. Their first home match today, and can they come up with a victory? On the prowl, Gray looking for goal outside of the far post.
Good effort from Gray, who's been involved in the match since she was substituted in, but more on the defensive side. Almost pointing that she was going to the byline, and nope, I'm not going to the byline. I'm cutting it back to my right foot, looking to just curl that ball in on the far post. Didn't quite have the desired effect. So you're perhaps seeing, a little bit more substitutions used, not only for the game at hand and the points that are on the table, but Katrina Peterson is looking ahead and thinking, who is my best 11 for the next match, not taking Calgary Wild for granted, but just managing her roster, thinking about how much load is in each of these players' legs.
Especially with the short turnaround Thursday night match.
And the travel as well.
Parrott. Still 6 minutes of added time to play. Lockhouse bumped off the ball by Robertson. Robertson looking forward, read by Liv Scott. And a foul called on Savitsky, on Gibson.
It doesn't look like either team is content to settle for a share of the points here, Signa. It looks like both are pressing high, trying to mitigate their risks, but still taking them.
Pridham blocked. Wolfsma looking to play quickly, and does. Gray chasing it down. Gray. The cross in. That's a nice looking cross to Stewart. Oh! Over top of the bar.
Heady play by Wolfsma to spring Gray down that left flank. Took her a while to kind of corral it, but takes that great touch out of feet. And it goes by a couple of players, and Stewart's there, but just can't get over that ball. Kind of skips up on her, but she's always leaning back. And that was always going to go over the bar.
Trainers have been busy tonight, checking on players as well. Bedford has switched around her lineup in this second half, looking for that extra energy, looking for that spark that maybe can get them a goal in this match, their home opener. Still waiting for it as Liv Scott gets up, walking gingerly. More stoppage time.
And Bedford's initial two substitutions that were Stewart and Spears looked like a real masterstroke by her. It didn't really pay off in the way of goals, but it changed the match so that Ottawa ceded control. They no longer had it was anybody's match at that point, and it maintained kind of that status quo for the duration of the second 45. It hasn't really been anybody's match. I don't know if you agree with me on that thing. It's been a real back and forth choppy affair. It's lacked quality in parts, but you've had opportunities on both sides as well.
Definite yo-yo affair. Savitsky looking over top. Gray now on the right side. Trying to cut in. And again, another collision. Chu.
Yeah, an important and brave challenge there by Chu to get her foot in there, help Lockhouse, who was beaten by Gray. It's maybe going to be 50-50, and Chu's able to insulate her a little bit, provide some cover. Not a mag, but comes through and perhaps would have had an occasion had Chu not intervened to go straight to goal. But her timing had to be perfect, or else she could have conceded a penalty.
Moore pushing that ball forward to Stewart. Calgary. The cross in! The fans don't like that. Could have been something if that bounced the right way.
And it just bounces up and catches Robertson on the hand. With the hand away from the body. I think that's the right call, even though it seems a little bit harsh.
Ball in favor of the Wild. Moore. This has to be the waning minutes of added time. Savitsky. Tackled by Lockhouse. Ottawa now pushing forward. Pridham trying to tuck that ball in behind. Cleared away. And that is full time. A yo-yo affair between the visiting Ottawa Rapid and the home side Calgary Wild at McMahon Stadium. Great crowd, great energy on hand for this match, but in the end, Amy, no goals to be had in this one.
No, but you had your highlights, you had your occasions, you had your chances, and the pendulum swinging from one side to the next in terms of who was dictating the pace, who had the momentum. But a tale of two very different halves. Where in the first half, Ottawa looked as good as I've seen them look so far through this year, generating lots of great opportunities on goal, failing to convert, but credit to Calgary for hanging in, and it turned into a scrappy affair with lots of fouls, but in the end, I think about right that they share the points.
Bit of a teeter-totter in this Week 4 NFL matchup. Final score from the Stampede City, Calgary Wild FC 0, Ottawa Rapid 0.
Our fans are our lifeline, and the players, coaches, staff, and ownership.
This Northern Super League match is supported by Canadian Tire, proud founding partner of the NSL. Welcome back to the NSL on TSN, brought to you by BMO. A scoreless draw in Calgary tonight between the Calgary Wild and the Ottawa Rapid, as we see players huddling post-game there. And Amy, this is a bit of a tale of two halves here. You know what I mean? And when you look at the stats, here we see players exiting the pitch there, and here are the stats right here. When you look at these stats, Amy, as we mentioned, a bit of a yo-yo affair, what stands out?
This is now a summary of you said it yourself, tale of two halves. So like the first half summary of the stats was very much in Ottawa's favor. Calgary surged back at the end of that first half, and then the second half was really disjointed as a bit of a scrappy affair, lots of fouls. Neither team could really get a hold on the match. So I think a split and a share of the points is about right on the day. I think the fouls, you see a lot on the Calgary side, but in terms of the clear-cut chances, I think the edge has to go to Ottawa, but they have nothing to show for it on the day.
The ultimate stat that matters, right?
Yep, absolutely. The one that ends up in the back of the net.
Well, let's go now to our Toyota drive of the match, recognizing tonight's best strike on net. And for that, we go to Calgary's Danielle Steer at the 57-minute mark. This is when she thought she could catch Molly Erickson sleeping a bit off her line. What do you like about her decision, Amy, to give it a go from distance here?
Well, I just love this is early on. She gets subbed on at half by Lydia Bedford, and it almost is a successful sub that changes the match. So she gets a little bit of an edge on the defender and looks up and sees Erickson off her line and is almost able to chip her. So I love the audacity. I love the confidence to call her own number, and it almost pays off for her.
You know what? I love that Danielle Steer is our drive of the match. Hey, get that pun?
Just
our
failed
drive.
to steer it into the back of the net, but
there we go.
See what I'm picking up what you're putting down.
We like some puns here. So listen, our next pack, this is what we're calling our Amazing Grace pack, because Grace Storty was so good tonight. I know you called her name more than a few times. Yep. What made her so effective?
I think she's sturdy Storty. That could be a nickname going forward. She's reliable. She's impressive on both sides of the ball. And there's a resilience about her game where she's undeterred, whether it's an opponent who's looking down at her and trying to beat her 1v1. Timely tackle is always in her back pocket, helping out another defender or a teammate in cover, or lending a hand on the attack, which we saw her do with some success in the first half, especially with Sarita Thurton.
Well, speaking of Grace Storty, she's standing by with our own Brianne Foley.
Grace, you had an amazing game. Defensively, you were a wall. Offensively, you really set things up. How are you feeling about your performance here tonight?
I'm pretty proud in front of friends and family. I couldn't have asked for a better performance individually, but not only that, but from the team as well. I think, we showed a lot of grit, and that's something we take a lot of pride in. And I think we fought all through 100 minutes about, so it was a good game.
Obviously not the outcome you wanted, but coming out of here, your home opener with a clean sheet, how does that feel?
Again, it feels amazing. I think we'll take a point rather than not taking one. Turf's brand new, so it'll take some time to get used to, but I think this atmosphere, I think Calgary really showed out today, and it helped a lot.
Playing at home in Calgary, last question for you, obviously. How was that moment for you, hearing the fans scream for you, really every time you touched the ball?
Surreal. I think this is the first game my entire life I have more than just my parents here supporting me. My best friend Ella got to watch me for the first time tonight, so I just feel, again, super grateful that everyone could be out here to support me tonight.
Amazing. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Surreal is right. Let's take a look at the standings now as week 4 comes to a close. You see Montreal at the top of the table there. They remain undefeated. They played to a 0-0 draw against Halifax yesterday, but have yet to be beat. And Vancouver sits in second place after a 1-1 draw with AFC Toronto earlier today. Now, as we wrap things up tonight, Amy, your final thoughts on the game?
I think in the end it's about right, but when you look at it from Ottawa's perspective, I think Katrina Peterson has to be quite pleased with the performance of her team, even if she just takes away the first half performance. Something to grow on. And for the Calgary Wild, Lydia Bedford's side, they never went away. They were determined, and they clawed their way back into this match for a share of the points.
A scoreless draw tonight at McMahon. There were chances, but no one could quite find the back of the net. From all of us here, thank you so much for watching, everybody, and happy Mother's Day. We'll see you next time.